Hello everyone, Happy New Year. My name is Jason Lee. Today I'd like to share with you about the amazing sermon that I heard a long time ago, which totally changed my life. And the title of the sermon was, Who is God? And the best answer for that question is, God is life. I grew up in a Presbyterian church, and my father was an elder. My mother was also a lady elder. I grew up in a Presbyterian atmosphere and studied the Bible, but I did not have any faith. But I joined the Army, and I went through a difficult time in the Army for 3 years. Maybe I became very poor in spirit. After I was discharged from the Army, I took part in a revival meeting, and there I got the enlightenment. And I decided to dedicate myself, my whole life, for the Lord. That's why I joined in the Campus Crusade as a step member. But blind leading blind both fall into ditch. You know that verse. And job is sharing the gospel every day to the college students and disciple them. Rain or snow, every day I went to the college campus. But it was a very difficult time because blind man leading blind both fall into ditch. In 1976, I met a very spiritual man. His sermon really changed my life totally. And as I told you before, the title of the message was, Who is God? And the correct answer is, God is life. If we ask Christians same question, who is God? They would answer, God is omnipotent, God is omnipresent, God is omniscient. God can do everything. There's nothing He cannot do. And He knows everything. And He can go any place. God is limitless God. God is our creator. That's a common answer. But now think about that answer. That's a very doctrinal answer. And we are created as a limited being. Our brains are very limited. How can you put all the water in the Pacific Ocean into a small bucket? So it's very vague answer. So what is accurate and clear answer for that? Who is God? God is life. That is more practical, specific, and very vivid answer. And God the Father is just like a huge tree. There are many trees behind. And Jesus is the fruit. And if you take one of the fruits and break them, and you take out the seed and roast them, and squeeze the oil, that oil is the Holy Spirit. I have never heard such kind of sermon before in my life. But that really opened up my eyes. And he continued on. All the life has seed, and it has a DNA, the gene, and that has two instincts. First, the instinct is to try to preserve their gene as purely as possible. And second instinct is to reproducing 30 falls, 60 falls, and 100 falls. So as try to preserve themselves as purely as possible. Thousands of years pass, they are the same. Look at the pine trees. If pine seed fall down to the ground, there are so many baby pine trees under the mother and father pine trees. And thousands of years pass, the fragrance is the same. So he said, Jesus must be preserved and reproduced. Jesus must be preserved as purely as possible, and reproduction must take place. Wow, how can you reproduce Jesus through our life? That was the greatest question as a Stephen Camp's crusade. But this man was truly a spiritual man. If he asks similar questions to the other pastors, they will say, hey, your answer is in a Bible verse in such and such a verse. You pray directly to God, get the direct answer from God. That's it. But this man was a truly spiritual man. He was digging very deep, the root and everything very deep, and showed me the roots. I was able to get a clear answer. Wow, this man's eyesight is really bright. And his messages really brightened up my eyes. The old has gone, new has come. My old world was rolled up, rolled away like a scroll, and new horizon was brightly opened up. Wow. St. Paul is sharing on the way to Damascus. He became blind, and Brother Ananias laid hand over his head. Scales peeled off. He was able to see. That experience was my experience after listening to his message. And sharing Christ to the college students is not an easy job every day. But after I had fellowship with a spiritual man, wow, the John chapter 4, the Samaritan woman story became my story. This water that you gave me, I'll become thirsty again. But the water I'll give you will never make you thirsty again. It will well up from deep within. That Samaritan woman's story became my story. My life was totally changed. I was able to share Christ endlessly. So my life was so full of happiness and light and bright eyesight. I'd like to share this message to you, which changed my whole life. And I hope you can experience that bright world yourself too. Happy New Year again. Thank you. Bye.